Amusement parks are supposed to be magical places, where laughter echoes, thrills ignite our senses, and memories are made that last a lifetime. But what happens when that magic shatters? When the screams of joy turn to cries of terror, and the rides we trust become the stuff of nightmares? Imagine stepping into a park, your heart racing with anticipation, only to witness the unthinkable. These aren't just stories of bad luck. They're tales of design flaws, overlooked safety, measures and moments where fun takes a devastating turn. From heart-stopping free falls to catastrophic malfunctions, these chilling incidents reveal a darker side to the adrenaline we crave. So, if you're ready to peel back the curtain and explore the hidden dangers behind the thrills, brace yourself. This journey isn't for the faint of heart. It's a stark reminder that even in the happiest places on Earth, tragedy can strike. Let's dive in. Amrapali Park in India was once a vibrant oasis of joy, a place where families flocked to escape the everyday and create memories that would last a lifetime. Nestled in the heart of the city, it was a beloved destination, its rides and attractions, drawing laughter and excitement from children and adults alike. But in 2006, this haven of happiness became the backdrop for a tragedy that shattered the community and left an indelible mark on everyone who heard the story. The nightmare unfolded on one of the park's most popular attractions, a roller coaster designed to deliver heart-pounding thrills. For one young boy no older than 10, it was supposed to be a day of adventure and pure, unbridled fun. But as the coaster raced along its tracks, something went catastrophically wrong. The ride malfunctioned, derailing in a horrifying instant. The boy was thrown from his seat, and the coaster car came crashing down, fatally injuring him. The park, once filled with laughter, fell into a stunned, heavy silence. Onlookers rushed to help, but it was too late. The boy's life was tragically cut short, leaving his family and the entire community grappling with an unimaginable loss. In the aftermath, investigations revealed shocking lapses in safety. The roller coaster hadn't been properly inspected. In years and warnings about the condition of the tracks had been ignored. These oversights turned what should have been a day of joy into a devastating nightmare. The tragedy forced Amrapali Park to shut down its rides and completely overhaul its safety protocols. For the boy's family, it was an unbearable loss, a pain no parent should ever have to endure. For the community, it was a stark, heartbreaking reminder of how vital safety is, especially when it comes to the thrill-seeking attractions we often take for granted. This devastating incident serves as a powerful, somber lesson. The pursuit of fun must never come at the cost of safety. Amrapali Park's story is a reminder that behind every ride, every scream of excitement, and every moment of joy, there must be an unwavering commitment to protecting lives. The memory of that young boy lives on, a call to action for parks, everywhere to prioritize safety above all else, ensuring that no family has to suffer such a loss again. Verrückt, German for crazy, was more than just a water slide. It was the crown jewel of Schlitterbahn Water Park in Kansas City, a towering, record-breaking behemoth that promised an adrenaline rush like no other. At 168 feet tall, it was the tallest water slide in the world, drawing thrill-seekers from across the globe. Visitors climbed hundreds of stairs, strapped into rafts, and braced themselves for a near 70 mph plunge that was equal parts exhilarating and terrifying. But in 2016, Verrückt's legacy took a dark and tragic turn, forever changing the way we think about thrill rides. On a sunny August day, 10-year-old Caleb Schwab, the son of Kansas State Representative Scott Schwab, boarded the slide with two other riders. What should have been a day of laughter and excitement turned into a nightmare. Mid-descent, a weight imbalance caused the raft to lift off the slide's surface. It went airborne, slamming into an overhead support bar. Caleb was killed instantly, while the other riders suffered life-altering injuries. The horrifying accident sent shockwaves through the park and across the country. Witnesses and staff were left in stunned silence, grappling with the unthinkable. As investigations unfolded, the truth behind Verrückt's design began to surface. The slide had been rushed through its development and testing phases, driven by the desire to break records. Safety concerns were reportedly brushed aside, and the ride was deemed dangerous long before it claimed Caleb's life. In the aftermath, Verrückt was shut down immediately. Its towering structure, once a symbol of innovation and thrill, was dismantled piece by piece. The tragedy led to criminal charges against the ride's designers, though the case was later dismissed. Verrückt's legacy is a grim one, a stark reminder of what can happen when safety is sacrificed for spectacle. For Caleb's family and everyone who witnessed the tragedy, it's a heartbreaking example of how the pursuit of thrill can come at an unimaginable cost. Caleb's story is more than a cautionary tale. It's a call to action, a plea to prioritize safety above all else, so no family has to endure such a devastating loss again. His memory lives on as a reminder that behind every thrill, every scream, and every moment of excitement, there must be an unwavering commitment to protecting lives. Perilous Plunge at Knott's Berry Farm in California was once the park's star attraction, a towering, heart-stopping ride that promised the ultimate adrenaline rush. Standing tall and imposing, it was designed for the bravest of thrill seekers. Riders would board a massive flume, climb to a dizzying height, and then plummet down at a near-vertical angle, crashing into the water below with a thunderous splash. It was the kind of ride that left you breathless, exhilarated, and eager to do it all over again. But in 2001, just a year after its grand opening, Perilous Plunge became the site of a tragedy that would forever darken its legacy. A woman, full of excitement and anticipation, boarded the ride ready to experience its legendary drop. But as the boat ascended to its peak, something went horribly wrong. She slipped out of her restraint and fell from the towering structure, losing her life in an instant. The park was thrown into chaos, visitors and staff left in stunned silence. How could something so preventable happen on a ride designed to thrill, not to harm? The restraint system, meant to keep riders safe, had failed her. Despite the tragedy, Perilous Plunge remained open for years, but its reputation was irreparably damaged. The park attempted to make safety adjustments, but these changes only seemed to introduce more technical issues. Over the next decade, the ride became plagued with malfunctions and constant criticism, a far cry from the thrilling attraction it was meant to be. By 2012, Knott's Berry Farm made the difficult decision to shut it down for good. The once iconic structure was dismantled piece by piece until nothing remained. Today, Perilous Plunge is remembered not for its thrills, but for the devastating loss that occurred on its towering drop. The story of Perilous Plunge is a sobering reminder that even the most exhilarating rides must prioritize safety above all else. The excitement it once provided is now overshadowed by the tragedy that no family should ever have to endure. It's a cautionary tale, a call to action for the industry to ensure that the pursuit of thrill never comes at the cost of human life. The memory of that day lives on, a stark reminder that safety must always come first. The Ohio State Fair is meant to be a place of joy, a celebration of laughter, cotton candy, and the kind of memories that stick with you for a lifetime. But in 2017, that joy turned to horror in an instant, forever changing the lives of everyone who witnessed it. The Fireball, a ride designed to thrill, became the center of an unthinkable tragedy. It was supposed to be a highlight of the fair, a towering, spinning attraction that sent riders soaring through the air. But as the ride began, something went catastrophically wrong. The massive swinging arms snapped, hurling seats and passengers into the air. Among them was 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell, a vibrant young man with his whole life ahead of him. Tragically, Tyler was thrown from his seat, crashing into a metal platform. He didn't survive. The shock of that moment was unimaginable. What made it even worse was the fact that the Fireball had been inspected just days before and declared safe. But as investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a chilling truth. Critical safety checks had been ignored. The ride's restraint system was flawed, and maintenance issues had been overlooked. What should have been a moment of exhilaration became a deadly disaster. Tyler's death sent ripples of grief through the community and beyond. But his story didn't end there. In the wake of the tragedy, Tyler's Law was introduced, a set of regulations designed to prevent such a nightmare from ever happening again. This law brought stricter safety standards and more rigorous inspections, ensuring that no family would have to endure the pain of losing a loved one to something as preventable as a ride malfunction. For Tyler's family and everyone who witnessed the horror that day, the fireball disaster is a haunting reminder of how quickly joy can turn to tragedy. It's a story of heartbreak, but also of hope, a call to action to prioritize safety above all else. Tyler's legacy lives on in the changes his story inspired, a bittersweet reminder that even in the face of unimaginable loss, we can still fight for a safer, better future. The atmosphere at Six Flags Over Georgia was buzzing with energy, laughter, screams of excitement, and the promise of a day filled with unforgettable thrills. Among the crowd was 17-year-old Asia Ferguson, a spirited teenager ready to take on one of the park's most iconic rides, Batman, the Ride. With its heart-pounding loops, sharp turns, and the feeling of soaring through the air, it was a magnet for thrill seekers. Asia and his friends were all smiles as they made their way to the coaster, the kind of excitement that makes your stomach flip just thinking about it. As Asia settled into his seat and the safety bar clicked into place, he felt that familiar rush of adrenaline. The ride roared to life, twisting and turning high above the park, leaving a trail of screams and laughter in its wake. For a moment, it was pure exhilaration, but what happened next was every parent's worst nightmare. After the ride ended, Asia realized he'd dropped his cell phone during the chaos. In a split-second decision, he made a choice that would change everything. Ignoring warning signs and slipping past barriers, Asia found himself in a restricted area beneath the coaster. Tragedy struck in an instant. As the ride continued to operate above him, Asia was caught in the path of the moving coaster. The unthinkable happened, and the park was thrown into chaos. People rushed to help, but it was too late. In the wake of this devastating loss, Six Flags took immediate action. They reinforced safety measures, adding more signs, barriers, and stricter protocols to prevent similar accidents. Asia's story became a heartbreaking reminder of the importance of respecting boundaries, even in moments of excitement or carelessness. Asia's death left a void in the lives of his family, friends, and community. A painful reminder of how quickly a moment of fun can turn tragic. His memory lives on as a call to action, urging us all to prioritize safety and vigilance, even in the most thrilling environments. Amusement parks are places of joy, but they also demand respect for the rules designed to keep us safe. Asia's story is a sobering lesson, one that ensures his legacy will never be forgotten. The Texas Giant at Six Flags Over Texas was more than just a roller coaster. It was a legend. Towering over the park, it promised heart-stopping drops, dizzying twists, and the kind of adrenaline rush that thrill seekers live for. For years, it was the star attraction, drawing crowds eager to conquer its towering heights. But in 2013, this iconic ride became the setting for a tragedy that would forever change the way we think about amusement park safety. Rosa Esparza, a vibrant 52-year-old woman, was one of those thrill seekers. Full of life and excitement, she strapped into her seat, ready to take on the Texas Giant. As the coaster roared to life, climbing to its peak before plunging into its first steep drop, everything seemed normal. But then, in a horrifying instant, something went terribly wrong. Witnesses watched in stunned disbelief as Rosa was thrown from her seat during one of the ride's most intense moments. She fell to her death, leaving the park in shock and her loved ones shattered. The aftermath was devastating. The Texas Giant was immediately shut down, and investigations revealed a chilling truth. The restraint system had failed. Rosa's safety bar hadn't locked properly, a catastrophic oversight that turned what should have been a thrilling experience into an unimaginable nightmare. The tragedy sent shockwaves through the amusement park industry. Six Flags faced lawsuits and was forced to overhaul its safety protocols, but for Rosa's family and the community, no amount of changes could undo the pain of her loss. Her death became a haunting reminder of the dangers that can hide even in the most popular and seemingly safe attractions. The Texas Giant incident sparked a broader conversation about ride safety, leading to stricter regulations and a renewed focus on protecting passengers. Rose's story is a sobering reminder that behind every scream of excitement, every moment of thrill, there must be an unwavering commitment to safety. Her memory lives on as a call to action, a plea to ensure that no one else pays the price for negligence. The Texas giant may have been a legend, but Rose's story is the one we must never forget. Fujin Raijin II was the pride of Expoland, a bustling amusement park in Osaka, Japan, that had been a source of joy and wonder for generations. For years, families and thrill-seekers flocked to the park, drawn by its vibrant atmosphere and exciting rides. Fujin Raijin II, a standing roller coaster, was one of its star attractions, a unique adrenaline-pumping experience that left riders breathless. But in 2007, this iconic ride became the center of a tragedy so devastating that it would forever change the park's legacy. Midway through the ride, the unthinkable happened. The coaster derailed, shattering what should have been a moment of exhilaration into chaos and horror. Among the passengers was a 19-year-old college student, her life brimming with potential and dreams. Tragically, she lost her life instantly in the crash. Dozens of others were injured, many rushed to hospitals in critical condition, their lives forever altered. As investigators pieced together what went wrong, a chilling truth emerged: neglect. The axles of the roller coaster hadn't been replaced in over 15 years. Years of wear and tear had gone unchecked, and the axles finally gave way, leading to the catastrophic derailment. It was a failure that could have been prevented, a heartbreaking reminder of the consequences of cutting corners. The aftermath was swift and devastating. Visitors lost faith in Expoland, and attendance dropped dramatically. The park, once a vibrant symbol of joy and community, became a ghost of its former self. Less than 2 years later, in 2009, Expoland closed its doors for good, unable to recover from the damage to its reputation. The story of Fujin Raijin II is a haunting reminder of the dangers of neglect and the vital importance of maintenance and safety in amusement parks. What should have been a day of laughter and excitement turned into a nightmare for countless families. It's a sobering lesson in how complacency and oversight can have deadly consequences, a tragedy that continues to echo as a cautionary tale for the industry. The memory of that day serves as a call to action, urging parks everywhere to prioritize safety above all else, so no one else has to pay the price for negligence. The Mind Scrambler at Playland in New York was supposed to be a whirlwind of laughter and dizzying fun, a classic spinning ride that left you breathless and grinning from ear to ear. With its flashing lights, blaring music, and cars whipping around in chaotic patterns, it was a staple of the park, drawing in thrill-seekers of all ages. But behind its vibrant facade, the Mind Scrambler became the site of two heartbreaking tragedies that would forever change its legacy. The first tragedy occurred in 2004. A 7-year-old girl, full of excitement and joy, climbed into one of the ride's cars, but she wasn't properly secured, and as the ride began its fast, jerking movements, she was thrown from her seat. The park was left in shock, and the community mourned the loss of a young life that should have been filled with laughter, not tragedy. In response, new safety measures were put in place, meant to ensure such a devastating accident would never happen again. Yet, just 3 years later, in 2007, disaster struck once more. This time, the victim was Gabriella Guerin, a 21-year-old park employee who had grown up visiting Playland. Gabriella was helping guests secure their restraints when another employee accidentally started the ride too soon. She was still inside the ride area when it began spinning. In a horrifying moment, Gabriella was thrown from the ride and killed instantly. The accident left everyone reeling. How could this happen again, especially after safety rules had been tightened to prevent such a tragedy? Gabriella's death was a devastating blow, a stark reminder of how quickly a moment of fun can turn to unimaginable sorrow. After the second tragedy, the Mind Scrambler was shut down for good. Its story is one of joy turned to heartbreak, a chapter that Playland and its visitors will never forget. It serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of vigilance, safety, and accountability in amusement parks. The Mind Scrambler's legacy is a call to action, a plea to ensure that no one else pays the price for negligence. For those who remember the laughter and the loss, it's a reminder that safety must always come first, no matter how thrilling the ride. The Derby Racer at Revere Beach in Boston is remembered not for its thrills, but for its chilling place in amusement park history as one of the most dangerous wooden roller coasters ever built. During the golden age of wooden coasters, these rides were celebrated for their creaky tracks and wild, unpredictable rides, a mix of excitement and fear that drew thrill seekers in droves. But the Derby Racer stood apart, its legacy marred by tragedy and loss. Over the years, no fewer than 5 people lost their lives on this infamous coaster. Each accident was more horrifying than the last, eroding the public's trust in the ride. The pattern was always the same. Riders were thrown from the cars, often during sharp turns or rapid ascents. The so-called restraints were laughably inadequate, leaving passengers to cling desperately to their seats, hoping the coaster wouldn't hurl them into the air. By the 1930s, the Derby Racer's reputation was beyond saving. What had once been a source of exhilaration had become a death trap in the eyes of the public. The park finally made the decision to tear it down in 1936, putting an end to one of the deadliest rides in amusement park history. The story of the Derby Racer is a stark reminder of how far safety standards have come in the industry. In its time, such tragedies were tragically common, and the ride's history remains a dark chapter in coaster lore. What began as a symbol of adventure and thrill became a cautionary tale of neglect and danger, a grim reminder of the cost of cutting corners. The Derby Racer's legacy lives on, not as a monument to excitement, but as a sobering lesson in the importance of putting safety first. While Disneyland remains a magical destination for millions, these tragic events serve as a stark reminder that accidents can happen anywhere, even in the happiest places on Earth. Each of these stories is a somber reflection on how fragile and precious life truly is. Thank you for joining us as we explored these dark chapters in Disneyland's history. If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into unexpected and compelling stories. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.